Hello everyone, and welcome back to another review presented by TBR Media. Today we've got something very special in store as we return to our horror roots to talk about Late Night with the Devil. Now, this is the latest film from IFC and Shudder, and it does not disappoint. The film stars David Dastmalchian, Laura Gordon, Ian Bliss, and many others. It's set in 1977, specifically on October 31st, where Johnny Carson rival Jack Delroy hosts a syndicated talk show called Night Owls that has long been a trusted companion to the insomniacs around the country. However, ratings for the show have plummeted since the tragic death of Jack's beloved wife. Desperate to turn his fortunes around, Jack plans a Halloween special like no other, unaware he is about to unleash evil into the living rooms of America. Now, I must say that it is preferable to go into this film knowing as limited information as possible. I went in without seeing any trailers, only having kind of a brief snapshot into the synopsis, and I came out loving it. I do believe that this is kind of like an instant cult classic in the making, as where something like Lisa Frankenstein has gotten a lot of attention for being a relatively new potential cult classic. I don't feel that it has quite the weight that Late Night with the Devil does. It doesn't have bite, it doesn't have style, and I was particularly fascinated with the structure of Late Night with the Devil. It plays very much like a theater production in the sense of how it's structured and the foundation that it's set on. It's a very talky film. And of course it has to be, because this is following a late night host. We get a lot of conversation, we get a lot of background, and it has kind of this sleazy 90s crime documentary vibe to it in the beginning, and then it slowly transitions into madness from there. It is a found footage film that is wholly unique, and I found myself enraptured by everything that I was seeing on screen, just from the foundational aspect of setting up the plot to get to somewhere where the audience is going to feel uneased. This film is written and directed by Cameron and Colin Cairnes, and it's kind of a more unique approach to dealing with some limitations when it comes to indie filmmaking. There are some bookends, with the introductory montage, setting the stage for kind of the civil unrest that was happening in the United States in the 1970s, and kind of this rise of this occult presence among the country. The colors are washed out, the look is a little bit underwhelming, a little bit cheap, but it's all intentful, and it's to serve that purpose of setting the stage for the actual presence of this underlying supernatural element that is occurring, and it plays beautifully into that found footage kind of genre. And even more than just the style and overarching tone of Late Night with the Devil, I am particularly impressed with how subtle everything is. You're not really sure of certain character motivations, and you get the sense that you can't really trust anyone, not the sleazy late night producers, not Jack Delroy himself, who has a traumatic past, and that certainly comes into play later on in the film, but you can't even trust the guests that are coming on. We have a kind of former mystic who is now a skeptic, and we have a parapsychologist with a child who has psychological torment and supposedly has a connection to the devil himself, or certainly at least a demon of some sort. And so this film positions the audience in the crowd very directly as we are watching supposedly what is a former late night show that has been unearthed and not aired to the public ever since it was first in 1977. And that direct connection, almost like a fourth wall break between the host and the crew and all of the guests and the audience, forms a kind of undying connection between everyone in the situation. Us as the viewer feels like we have more of a stake at what's about to occur. The more transitional elements of the film, from the first to the second and from the second to the third act, are a little bit repetitious, I must admit, and a lot of that comes through the usage of ad breaks, commercial breaks, that were so prevalent for the time period and are still relevant even today. And certainly that kind of played into the central atmosphere that they were creating surrounding this talk show. But it left a lot to be desired in the sense that everything felt like it had a particular flow to it that never really broke throughout the film. And I would say that that perhaps is the largest detraction that I can surmise. I came out of Late Night with the Devil with a really deep appreciation for what the filmmakers and the performers in the cast were able to achieve with this film. And I think it is better, as I said earlier on, to go in with limited expectations and without watching any of the trailers, to just have a good time with this movie and what it's trying to accomplish. I think you won't be disappointed, and I would highly recommend it. This certainly might be one of my favorite horror projects to come out this year, and we're only at the end of March, so I imagine that we'll get a few more goodies throughout the year if you're a horror fan, but this certainly is probably cementing itself in my top 10 list by the end of the year, just because I was floored at the execution. I was floored at what we can accomplish with such limited budgets and with a certain tone that is unique. It's a really special kind of film, and I hope that you're able to go out to the movie theater over the weekend, over the next few days, to see Late Night with the Devil. You won't regret it. If you like this review, make sure to give us a like and subscribe to the channel for more reviews in the future. We also have membership options available, so check those out down in the description of this video, and we will see you on the next one.